Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, this is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian Scallion, Paul DeGracco, Alex Tavella, a.k.a. The Goat, and always telling it like it is, Honest Abe.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, smoked up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. I'm your host, Honest Abe, And we are broadcasting, as always, live from sunny South Florida. And I'm here with my trusted gang, the Italian Scallion, the man himself, Shameless Paul, and the man they call the GOAT, Alex Tavella.
Bam. I thought you were going to switch it up.
The order?
To what?
Technically, you're not in sunny South Florida today. You're in
Yeah,
an
I know,
undisclosed
but we broadcast from sunny South Florida. So
True. Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair
I
enough.
thought about that going in.
Oh,
He's in an undisclosed location.
Yes.
I was gonna say,
in
is it somewhere sunny at least?
I posted it, you dumbass. Stop acting so stupid.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't see, honestly.
Morning. Are you in Disney? Paul thinks like I'm covertly in Disney. Like he's trying to catch me in Disney.
Yeah.
Because you're secretly planning a Disney trip without telling me when you're gonna go. I've noticed that you're purposely keeping the dates out.
For my birthday, the fine folks at Drew Estate gave me some Disney gift cards. So they will be used.
Well, I don't understand why you have to be in the loop of Abe's Disney travels.
Paul the nosy.
Because he involved me.
Now,
He
Paul,
asked me
Ask you a question.
a couple of questions.
Paul just
We had
knows-
a phone conversation about it.
Paul just nosy about other people's lives. That's pretty much it.
I'm living vicariously through you.
Especially for the guy
You
who
lead an interesting life.
kind of always tries to like go around whenever he can't be on the show what he's actually doing. Yeah.
That's only recently. I've learned that I can't really share too many details.
Oh, but everybody
Okay,
else
okay.
has to let you know what's going on.
You can share details. You just gotta live with the, feedback.
Well, that's true. So I don't want to live with the feedback. So don't be his neighbor.
My wife was
Oh,
looking
man.
at a place that was in his development. I said, hell no.
Again or before?
Oh, that was back then. I said, heck no. Not happening.
They're building some nice houses just like 2 miles away from me. They're really big. It'd be perfect for your big family.
That's all I need. Paul stopping by in his golf cart.
Oh
With
my
some
God,
fresh-
that would be so awesome.
Fresh picked crops from the
Yes.
Oh my God. The commune comments every time I post something of us doing something in the neighborhood or outside the house from the KMA crew. Oh my God. Everybody's like, Risty posted on a picture. He's like, oh, I see you got your golf cart in the picture. I was like, no, that's my neighbor's. He goes, well, in your neighborhood, everything is everybody's anyway. So that's yours. I'm like, oh, great.
That's the way it works, Paul. That's how it starts. And then that same logic applies to wives, and then that's when it really
Well, Stephanie's got some hope then.
Listen, if she can better herself, she should go for it. I tell her that all the time. Just marry rich this time. Who cares what they look like? You already got an ugly guy. You can live with that.
How much further west are you than where you used to live?
Mile wise, it's probably only, I think it's 5.5 miles. I clocked
Miles
it.
in Florida.
It might be a little.
Thing. You got to tell me like
It means nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about an 8-minute drive to my maybe 10-minute drive to my other house.
That's actually not that bad.
But it feels a lot longer because once you get past a certain point on Southern Boulevard, you basically you're like, oh, I'm going to the West Coast.
are you
it's
east
like
or
nothing.
west of Flying Country Safari?
We're just west. It's the next light.
Oh, so
See,
you
that's
got to go
far.
down. You got to go down to Southern too. So you're not only west, you're south, you're northwest.
Right. So I go up Forest Hill from my old house and then make a left on Southern and all the way. Southern is the majority of the trip. Well, you'll be here. You'll come and hang out.
For what?
I don't know. we're doing yoga. We're doing yoga at the lake today. I think. I don't know if I'm going, but
Are you
they're
really?
doing a big event. Listen. I will say this: when I was in college and I was taking acting courses, they force you to take yoga, and I actually liked it then. I've gone a couple times with my wife since then, and I really actually do not enjoy it now.
What do you mean they force you to do yoga?
You know,
I didn't have the college experience, but I don't know that that's like
if you don't do yoga, you don't get your share of cucumbers for the month.
No. When in college, when you take art classes, like acting classes, they want you to be in tune with your body or some shit like that. So they force you to take yoga. I don't know. Listen, you guys can look at all the comments about yoga, but where's Allison when I need her? She does stogies and yoga every Saturday, doesn't she? They put KMA on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's fine, but I don't think I don't know, maybe she is, but I don't think she's paying back student loan debt because she took yoga class in college.
Kevin,
well, I mean, not to get too personal.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay, wait, time out. We got to address Kevin.
I just said no. I'm in Atlanta for a wedding, so I had to clean up.
Yeah, Saturday's my day, so you have to see me after. Saturday's my day. I get this all taken care of.
Literally, Alex runs out the door as quickly as possible every Saturday because there's a standing Saturday after KMA appointment.
Yeah, so in two hours it'll be much cleaner.
I couldn't make it.
No comment about my beard.
No, couldn't make it to the barber once again. But kudos and thanks to Adrian again, who once again came to my house Thursday night after the soccer broadcast at 10:00, and
that's right. After you left, you said, Adrian.
Yeah, he's great, man.
I love that.
He's
guy.
Awesome.
Clean me up really good.
You know what? I think is the coolest power move. I remember one of the times when you were before you guys opened Real Clips. I remember I came to a meeting and you were getting a haircut in your office. And I was like, that is a power move, man. Like sitting at the desk it was awesome.
I've been getting haircuts at work for probably 10, 15 years. You know,
I wish I had that.
You know, sometimes the barber moves or the barber leaves and then you're stuck for a while. But eventually if I can find somebody who'll come to my office, why waste the time?
Yeah. No, it's actually a great idea.
If I didn't have the same barber for 10 years, I'd switch to Adrian.
Yeah. Adrian's a shit. Speaking of the kids, I got to put it out there because, Petra found out
big doings.
Yeah, man, but it was funny because, we're in Atlanta and they don't tell the kids. So the parents have to log into a portal to find out. And, we were here and all of a sudden the phone rings and all I hear my wife say, calm down. You need to breathe. What's the matter? So I'm starting to freak out, man. She's never called crying like this and whatever. And she was crying because all her friends were finding out around her. It seemed they dropped the news at 3:00. So on the bus ride home, every kid's saying, I got in, I didn't get in, but it's blowing up. And because she hadn't heard, she was freaking out. The problem was all the parents were crashing the website. Because everybody's going on the website getting refreshed.
We're very familiar with that.
Yes, I'm like, wow, it feels good not to be at to be actually on the other end of this for once.
Right. Yeah, they continually hit refresh.
They crashed the website, so we really couldn't find out for another 20-25 minutes. But yeah, she was elated. She's going to the corresponding high school of the arts. A lot of her friends didn't get accepted. I'm shocked too, because I figure if you're going to the school of the arts or the grammar school, oh, thanks guys. If you're going to the middle school, the school of arts, I just figured they'd get in, but no, I guess they don't. So she's very, very happy and excited.
No, she's talented. I'll be the first to admit it. She deserves it. She's gonna do awesome. That girl is she's gonna do great things. So I'm proud of her. I when I saw that post yesterday, I was like, I knew it, but I'm sure you guys felt the same way, right? Like you knew she was good enough for it, but who knows if what if she didn't get in?
But you see, I'm one of those parents. I think those are good moments in life too. I wouldn't have been crushed because realistically, getting into this school is not the beginning all or end all of anything that's going to really affect her life. She can go anywhere she wants.
But it helps.
It helps, but getting a detour or getting an obstacle is also not a bad thing in life because that's how you learn to overcome stuff. So my wife and my daughter would probably been devastated, and then my job would be to teach her how to overcome that obstacle because shit happens in life, man, and you need to learn how to overcome it. But she's getting to go where she wants, and then the next one is college, and that's going to be a lot tougher. So we'll see what happens in 4 years.
Does she have an idea of where she might want to go to college?
She says Juilliard, but we'll see.
Good girl.
She doesn't understand the narrowing path of entry as you go up the echelon of life. So when you start talking schools like Juilliard or Where did Michael Herklotz go to college? It's another school of the arts, music. Shit. Starts with a C, I think. Oh,
Cornell? No, Cornell's not music.
Don't know.
oh my God.
So you might be paying for one of those liberal arts degrees that she better.
She goes to Juilliard. Yeah, you're gonna be.
She better do something with in her life later.
A lot happens in 4 years, you know.
She'll be living in New York. But
you know,
I applied to Juilliard.
Listen, she just got a gig. Her art teacher got a gig. She's got some gig. Actually, we're going to be in Texas. We're going to miss it. But she's got a paying gig that's paying her $200 next weekend. I could just see Berkeley. I could just see this.
Where he went.
I could just see this kid going around the country playing music, just for experience and fun. So who knows? It'll be interesting to watch and cheer from the sidelines and just give her the best advice I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited for her.
Yeah. So yesterday was a pretty emotional day for her. Berkeley, yes.
Yesterday was a pretty emotional day for me yesterday, too.
What happened?
Want to know why?
Down?
Yes.
No, I found. So, I used to do the promotions, like hosting promotions at a minor league baseball team on Long Island for years. And I used to do market research. Yeah, I did it for 10 years. And I used to do market research where we would have our team outside and ask people things like, what was the score of the game? Who won the game? And I think it was like 30% of the people that we polled knew the score of the game. And 40% of the people knew who won the game. They were there for the entertainment, right? We did fun things in between the innings, before and after the game. So this company actually I happened to know the owners through friends or through family. I didn't even realize, called the Savannah Bananas, came to town.
Oh, he's got a hat on.
And yeah. And these guys took my dream.
Because
he's got
the blur on and it's.
I got the blur on. It's the banana. It's a banana.
Not a
but anyway,
but the KMA logo comes in perfect. You see, it's like,
yeah, it's so weird.
It won't let him advertise another company. The computer knows.
But listen, exactly. But these guys took my dream of like making it about the fun and the entertainment and not as much about the baseball. And they do like fun antics with the baseball players. It's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters, but for baseball. And they came to West Palm. They just added a night tonight. I was like, man,
job overshadowing the excitement of baseball.
But they take all this stuff out of the game that everybody hates about it. So there's a timer to the game. There's no bunting. They can't step out of the box. There's no mound visits. It's awesome. All the stuff that wastes time.
Bunting's actually exciting.
There's no bunting in minor league baseball.
No bunting. No, this is like it's not really a game. I think it's fixed. The Savannah Bananas always win. It's a big show. You got to look it up. They're in town.
So the point of this whole story was.
Did they play like?
It was just. I was emotional. It was wonderful. You know how the Harlem Globetrotters always play the Washington Generals or Wizards? What's the team called?
I might get shit for this, but that was a very feminine comment. I'm just
that I got emotional.
What was feminine?
It was emotional. It was so wonderful. It was so wonderful. I don't know. Maybe I'm cold. I don't know.
It was feminine a little bit.
It was very feminine.
I'm secure. I was very manly last night. An old man told my wife to sit down at this game where everybody's standing up cheering. They're getting the crowd doing the wave and fun stuff in the crowd. And this old man sitting behind us and he goes, "Can you sit down so everybody can see?" And we ignored him the first time. And then like 3 more times he said it. And I turned around and I was like, "It's open seating over here, you crotchety old man. Go sit somewhere else if you have a problem with people having fun at an entertaining baseball game." And he's like, "I'll knock your block out." But he had to be like 75 years old. I was like, "Go ahead, hit me. Please, in front of all these people standing up, cheering, having a good time, hit me." He got all upset. Anyway, I was very confrontational. No, and you know what's funny? My wife was like fumbling with her phone trying to show me being a tough guy.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Abe, you got to reach. There may be a video. You got to reach out to Steph. There may be a portion of this video.
There's not a video from Steph. There may be a video from somewhere. I don't know.
There may be a video.
Steph's good at leaking me proper information.
Right.
Given moments.
She is. She is actually. Damn her.
Yes.
Well, anyway.
Anyways, we got an exciting show for you. one of a dear friend of ours and a guy who really hasn't been on KMA as much as we'd like him to. So it's very exciting to have him on today. Willie Herrera, man. Let's take it to our Meet Your Maker segment.
I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
It's time to meet your maker.
Look at
There he is.
the man himself.
What's up? What's up?
What's happening?
Hey, man. Another
It almost
nice
looks
and
like
humid
Billy
day here in
in
Miami.
the same place.
Willie, where are you broadcasting from?
Home, man. Sunny South Florida, bro. And nice and muggy as usual.
Dude, muggy.
Yeah, the Florida weather's back.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what I was thinking. We just woke up. Well, we really didn't go to bed, but we just packed up, got on the plane, came here to Atlanta. The second I got on the what do you call it? The thing where you get off the plane that connects to the building.
Tram.
Yeah, whatever, the hallway to the building. But the second I got in, I was like, holy cow. I didn't even realize there's it's not Florida weather everywhere, man. I actually had to go out and buy a thing. It's cold.
I was watching the news this morning, man, and it's crazy. I was looking up in the panhandles in the 50s, mid to lower 50s.
I thought of that, Abe, because any idea what Texas is like this time of year? I don't. Do I need a coat for next week? I don't know.
I'm always thinking Texas.
It depends on where.
Yeah, I almost think Texas is warm, but man, they have their own snowstorms and stuff. A lot of guys have trouble getting in, so I don't know. But I'm actually going to do a little research before I get on the plane because I got cool clothing in Florida for those days. I just didn't think of it. I got on the plane with sandals, shorts, a polo. I'm like thinking, oh, hey, we're good. It's Atlanta. I'm thinking it's like Florida. Man, it was cold last night. I was sitting in front of a fire pit when I took that picture, smoking the cigar. I mean, it was cold.
Yeah, it gets cold up there.
Oof.
Yeah.
So,
Willie, change.
How you doing, buddy?
I can't complain, man. Just staying busy, starting to get ready to ramp up all the travels again. It's been a little over 2 years of no travel. So got my first trip lined up for next week already, and we're off and running, man. So it's exciting times, busy times, and just gotta get it some adjusting to the scheduling again, But I can't complain.
My wife and I were just talking about this the other night. It's been 2 years. It was 2 years ago this month that we closed down our stores. I mean, literally 2 years. Yeah. And did anybody in their right mind think 2 years ago that we still kind of be dealing with it?
Mm-mm.
I remember when we closed the store, I'm thinking this is a 2 or 3 week ordeal,
Right.
Not even a world changing thing.
We're insulated here too, though, in South Florida, especially. When we're going on a cruise. I mean, the COVID testing parameters you have to take 2 COVID tests just to get on to the boat.
But we were a little insulated really starting a year ago, but the first year was kind of everywhere, maybe not as bad, but everywhere. And then finally, October, a year and a half ago, things just opened up completely, and then we became insulated. But yeah, man, and Drew Estate, I think, just opened their building for the first time since COVID. People are going back to the office.
Yeah, man. Just actually, we were supposed to open up April 1st, and they pushed it back to the 11th.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So so they're just doing some rearranging of offices and getting people situated in different areas, different parts of the office of the building. So it was supposed to be the 1st, and so they pushed that back now to the 11th. And but everybody's just ready to go back in, man. I had my first event on Thursday night or Friday night. I forget, man. It's everything for me is a blur.
Yeah.
And I mean, the turnout we had, and I was like, wow, this is what events were like. I forgot, it had been so long. But it feels good, man. It feels good being in that face-to-face environment again. And even though I do like, and I really enjoyed when we were doing all the virtual events, because I think it opened up a lot of doors. Your reach was so much greater doing those virtual events. You weren't just, dealing with the locals from that local shop. So you're able to talk to people from all over the place, all different states, different countries. And, it really gave the opportunity for people to interact with you. Oftentimes in these in-store events, people are shy, people are timid, or people feel embarrassed or whatever, and you don't get to talk to so many people. But through these virtual events, you are really able to connect with a lot of them. And that seems so far from that first event to have carried over to the in-store events, because a lot of these guys, hey man, yeah, I was in the event with you that you did virtually. So hopefully it'll carry on moving forward to all the other trips and in-store events that we got lined up.
Well, I mean, without a doubt, the people that were able to pivot, and communicate and interact with people on a virtual level, really found a lot of success and a lot of reach. And, even when we did the Digital Great Smoke in 2021, I mean, it was historic. I mean, I don't even think we had any idea what we were getting into when we even contemplated doing that. But I think the best part is to find the blended balance now, right? Because, there is nothing that compares to being in person. I mean, the Great Smoke last month showed it, how people came from all over the world, thousands of people. And, as much as we try to portray that virtually at home, Michael did a great job. Like I said, Michael Herklotz will forever be, as long it's his title until he doesn't want anymore, be the face of digital, the virtual Great Smoke. And as much as we try to, emulate that feeling and sensation through the camera lens at home, it's hard to compare. So we're excited to get back to doing physical events, and but not go back to the way it was. I mean, we always want to incorporate. We have our first. We're going to be doing what is it, Alex? Next month, May, right? We're going to be doing our first in-store event. That will be a store event that there'll be a virtual component at the same time. So I just think finding the blended balance of the two is the future for people who really want to interact and connect with the consumer base.
Definitely, it's a cool feature, something I never imagined prior to the pandemic and everything shutting down, and you really not having a choice but to, okay, we got to do this and let's do this, and you went changing over time and making adjustments, and I think it just turned out to be something really cool. And like you said, Abe, it's something that I think moving forward it could be integrated with the in-store events and do this virtual aspect, so people elsewhere could take part of that of that in-store event and what's going on, and they could take part of the deals and be part of raffles and so on and so forth. So I think it's something really cool that came out of it. I had never heard of that prior to that. I'm like, what's a virtual event? I remember the first time our Joe Groh and our marketing team were like, hey, okay, we're going to pivot to virtual. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? How do you do a virtual event, man? And dude, it took some getting used to, but yeah, I think it was great, man.
I think the real struggle for people moving forward in this area is doing the virtual side of it where it's just not so bad. To really do a good virtual experience, you have to find a way to kind of really upgrade the look and the feel of it, where it's not a broadcast. Like, I love our KMA, broadcast, but it's very flat, and for me, that's not a virtual event. And I think, those that will really invest the time and the money and the knowledge in learning how to make a broadcast, I think you'll see a lot cooler virtual events in the horizon.
Definitely. Oh, for sure. I agree.
Because this format can only go so far as being exciting. You can only do so much in this kind of a, laptop broadcast virtual event. It's got to be a little more than that for success. So Willie, listen, I know you've been on KMA before, and I'm sure people ask, but we always operate on the assumption there are new smokers every day who are getting into this lifestyle and culture. Give us, a quick synopsis of your journey and how you got into the cigar business.
Man, so, I've been a smoker. I mean, I don't know. I think I had my first cigar like at 15 or 16 years old. And it was all out of, this intriguing thing for me that I would go to my aunt's house, and her husband always had a cigar at all times. He would smoke in the house, smoke in his room, smoke in the living room. So there was always this aroma in the house. And I remember going over there as a kid, and I'm like, man, that smells so good, And so I've always been a bigger kid, so I would get, by a lot of stuff that required, age verification and this, that, and the other. So at that age, we had this down the street from my house. You had it's almost like a little cafeteria, like a little market where you get your Cuban bread in the morning, your coffee, and a few different sugar, salt, a couple things, whatever you could buy at this place, sandwiches. Well, they also had cigars, those bundles or fumas that we call on the counter.
Now this is in New York.
Huh?
This is in New York?
No, this is here in Miami.
Okay.
This is here in Westchester, Miami, where I grew up. And, they would also sell you the balls of dough before they put it into the oven to make the Cuban bread. And that's what I would go and buy and then take off on my bike to go fishing in all the canals and stuff like that around the neighborhood. And so that was my first experience with cigars, buying these fumas at that cafeteria and then taking off with my ball of dough and fishing all day and just enjoying that cigar, trying to mimic what my aunt husband was doing, just cast with the cigar in your mouth and you're doing your whole thing. And it's like, man, this is super cool. And over time, that went changing, obviously, like many smokers today, your palate goes changing. It goes getting more refined, and you start looking for certain nuances and certain types of cigars. And so now you fast forward to like 2000, about 2000, 99, 2000, 2001, Sandy, my wife's mom, and Sandy's parents had opened a factory in 95 or 96, a cigar factory. And so, I was always involved as far as helping them out, but my career path had gone another way. I was into banking at that time. And so,
How old are you at this point?
Oh, man. In 2000, so I was 20, 26, 25, somewhere around there at this point. So I had graduated from those Pumas at that point, and I was buying, premium cigars at different brick and mortar stores in the area.
You just mentioned that Sandy had opened up a factory in Miami, and you're talking about the El Titan de Bronze factory. Mm-hmm. How did you end up meeting Sandy or knowing the family?
Well, I met Sandy's daughter Giselle back in '89. I mean, we were together. We've been together since '89. So they had just moved from Jersey to Miami, and I met her. So I went to the movies with a buddy of mine. I was in ninth grade.
Freshman.
And I'm with a bunch of buddies of mine, one of which was her cousin. And she was living up by Aventura, north of Miami, when they moved down. And so her cousin was at the movies with us, whatever, and she happened to be there on a blind date with some other kid.
Oh, wow.
So we're there. She sees me. She calls to her cousin, hey, who's that guy? And this, that, and the other. Long story short, she takes off with me and her cousin and all our friends. The guy, I don't know if he ever showed up or didn't show up. We go to our own movie and do our thing. I've been together ever since, man. So
wow.
when I met her, there was no cigar factory. Her parents owned a liquor store. And so after school, on the weekends, especially in holidays, I would work with them at the liquor store because it was just stupid busy. And they would do these gift baskets. And so I would help the grandfather, shrink wrap these big old baskets, especially in Christmas time, Valentine's. So Sandy always said, man, everybody who buys liquor is always asking where they could buy cigars. She's like, you know what? I'm going to start selling cigars. It was a pretty big liquor store. And so she sets up the store, puts 2 display cases. Now, remember, this is like during the boom, tail end of the boom, she couldn't get cigars. No matter who she called, she had customers from the liquor store that were in the cigar business. And they're like, we're sorry, Sandy, we could give you a box. We could give you, 2 boxes, but she could not get cigars. So at that point is when she's like, you know what? I have my licenses. I have, my alcohol and tobacco firearms license and this, that, and the other. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to make cigars. I'm going to hire somebody and I'm going to have them here making cigars. And I'm going to just sell my own stuff. So that's how she kind of started in the industry. There was an older customer from the liquor store who, worked in factories all his life in Cuba. And so that was our cigar roller. And that went on, until another customer, friend of hers, who was, I forgot what was his position at the ATF, says, Andy, you can't roll cigars here. Are you crazy? This is a liquor store. She's like, what are you talking about? I have my ATF license. Yes, for alcohol, not for manufacturing cigars and tobacco products.
Even the license for selling cigars is different from the license manufacturing cigars.
Yes. So that kind of started, okay, let's find a place and do what we got to do so we could make cigars legit, And that's how they got into the business because, they had no way of getting cigars to sell at their liquor store.
Now, at this time, she still doesn't have a factory.
So we're going now to 90. Oh man, this is 2-3 years after. So we get married in 96. So tail end of 96, 97 is when they open up a factory. And so now they're in Little Havana, same building where we're at now, where you went by, but 3 stores down. So they weren't in that corner store.
Right.
And so they started making cigars and they started, growing. They had 2 rollers and, you just had all this foot traffic walking up and down Little Havana. I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with Little Havana, but, there was over 5, 6, 7 different factories in Little Havana. And everybody to this day and to this, today, even more so than then, you have all these buses constantly with people coming to Little Havana and walking up and down, up and down.
If you're a cigar lover, it's the Mecca where you need to go. I mean, people want to.
Right.
And at this time, you're still in banking.
Still in banking. Helping them out here and there whenever something, needed to be done, but knew nothing of the industry, knew nothing of the business. So now you fast forward to, like I said, either 99 or 2000.
What were you doing in banking?
Well, I started off as a teller, then moved on to head teller, then I got into loan processing, and then a managing position in loans.
I just imagined you being a loan officer when you took banking, sitting at the other end of the desk. How tall are you, Willie?
6'5".
I mean, I can just see you going,
since 9th grade.
Denied. Big 6'5".
Little intimidating.
Right?
It wasn't fun, man. It wasn't fun. So fast forward, so in between, her parents end up getting divorced. Liquor store gets sold. Mom and grandparents stay with the factory. The old man gets sick. They needed a male, person, a male figure in this factory because Little Havana back then, by 3 o'clock, 3:30, everybody was shutting up the windows, putting the shutters and closing because it wasn't the safest part of town at that time. So I needed a male figure. So I had taken a week off of vacation from work and worked the factory. I'm like, man, I'm smoking cigars all day. This is great. You're dealing with happy people all the time. Nobody's coming in pissed off. There's no problems. There's no headaches. Every transaction was great. It was fun.
Positive.
Yeah, man, because in banking, dude, I mean, especially as a teller, why is there a hold on my check? And why is this? And what do you mean? It was just awful, man. And I fell in love with it after that week. I put in my 2 weeks notice. I quit the bank.
Wow.
And I started full time at the factory. And that's where, I say it all the time, my education started in the cigar business. I had been a smoker at that point, tons of years. And I knew what I liked and I knew what I did not like as far as cigars. And I just started learning. I started learning about, what makes this cigar taste this way? What makes this one burn this way? Why is this one stronger? Why do you have this shape and this shape tastes this way and this shape tastes another way when it's the same blend and the same tobaccos? So I'm smoking all the stuff that I'm buying. I'm not really smoking our cigars. We had 2 cigars that we would make, a Connecticut shade and then a natural shade. And, they weren't for me. It wasn't they weren't for where my palate was at that point. So her grandfather, as any typical old Cuban guy, very proud of what they have, right? Why are you smoking so-and-so cigar? Why are you spending all this money? You're spending, money you could be putting into your house and for food and for this. I'm like, oh God, okay. I gotta get something produced out of here so I could smoke when I'm here. So I would go into the room and kind of smell the different tobaccos that we had, bring it to one of our rollers. Hey, can you make something with this? And that went on for a few weeks until, these rollers, and even today, they get paid by how many cigars they roll. They roll 100 cigars, they get paid for 100 cigars. And they had their quota. At that time, it was 100 cigars a day. That's what they had to make. Now, you throw me into the mix. Hey, make this for me, make that for me. Now they're not making their 100 cigars a day unless they're staying past their time or coming in earlier the next day. So that quickly became a problem. So I was like, okay, what do I do? Well, I have no choice but to learn how to make a damn cigar. And so that's what I did. I would stand behind them and just look at them and then go behind them, sit on another table and do what they were doing and learn, how to bunch and how to fill mold, how to press it, how long to press it for, when to turn the cigar and put it back in the press, and then how to put the wrapper on the cigar. And that went on for a few months until I was making a beautiful cigar. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, now I'm going to have fun. And I just started experimenting, based off of smell, with the limited tobaccos that we had. And then because we're in Little Havana and we had so much foot traffic, you had a lot of people coming in, a lot of tourists that were buying a cigar as a gift for their dad, for their brother, for their boss. But you would also get a lot of people coming in asking for me with key questions. Oh, what's the wrapper? Oh, what's the filler? Is it full body? Is it milder? Is it, what's the country of origin? And I was like, okay, these are the smokers. So those became my guinea pigs. So I would make my sale. Before they left, I was like, hey, hold on a second. Let me give you something. I would love your feedback. So run to the back, grab something I had worked on, give it to them, said, all I want is for you to give me a call or send me an email. Here's my card, and let me know what you think about the cigar. And man, and that was the beginning for me, getting a lot of feedback from all these customers that were walking into the factory. And then, what I was smoking, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is a third. Oh, this is really good. Why is this one really good? Let me tweak this blend. Let me, incorporate a different binder. Let me incorporate a different wrapper. We started getting different tobaccos into the factory. And it just, it took off from there, man. It was, how do they say? It was I went into that rabbit hole and just haven't come out since.
Willie, would you say that your education process was pretty much education by self-experience, or did you have any real influence or mentors in your learning, one, how to roll, and then secondary, how to blend?
You know, I didn't have mentors. I had people I looked up to because I saw all the great things that they were doing and how much I enjoyed their cigars. But I never had anybody to sit with me and say, okay, these types of wrappers, you use it with these type of binders, or when you're creating a blend, you have to use, you know, X amount of this to make sure you have combustion in your cigar. I never had any of that. You know, I say it all the time. My whole learning was solely from necessity. I had no choice but to learn how to do it. So I could have something that I would enjoy, and B, continue to grow the family business. It was all necessity, and then it became this love for it, because when I started to create these blends that people were really enjoying, and they were taking the time out to call me or to send me an email and say, hey man, I really love this cigar. What is it? How can I get more? You know, that's when that love part comes in, and you're like, man, you know, you're creating something out of nothing. You're creating an experience for somebody out of dried up leaves. And how cool is that, that out of nothing, you're creating something so good? And that's where the love for it came for me, more so than, you know, the business part of it, which was a whole nother part of it. The experience, the pleasure, how cool the people are, how fun it is. You factor in the other segment of the equation, which is how that cigar that you put this leaf and that leaf, this wrapper, this binder together changed or made somebody's day better, or made an experience memorable for them, whether it was, you know, a party, a wedding, you know, a congratulations. Cigar has that power to change and to make a day, you know, for a smoker, wow, you know, exceptional. And that's where the love came in for me, man, you know. Then you fast forward again, about 10 years at that point, Jonathan approaches me. Hey, I really like what you're doing. I hear you're doing this for so and so.
He approached you by coming down to the factory, or how did you run into Jonathan?
So it was probably in 2000. It was probably around 2008. The first time I meet Jonathan, our booth at the it used to be our TDA show,
right,
was located right behind Drew Estate's booth. And so he kept seeing all these people coming through, and people that we were making cigars for stopping by and hanging out. He's like, man, who's this little company behind us here having all this traffic? So he approached me during that trade show. He's like, man, I really like what you're doing. I'm hearing a lot of great stuff. You know, I remember at that time, the bloggers were really coming into the scene. People were reviewing cigars, and, you know, they're smoking cigars that they were recording online and stuff like that. And, you know, he was already following a lot of that stuff that was going on. And because, you know, you would hear at that time all the big names. But who's this little guy? Who's this Willie guy? And who's this little El Pint in the Bronx factory? Like, what's going on? So that's when he started talking. And I remember after he left, I called Sandy. Sandy, you know who just came to the booth? What happened? I'm like, Jonathan Drew just came by the booth. He was talking to me. Oh my God, what did he say? And, you know, that started the talks. And then we were talking back and forth for a little over a year and a half or so. And then finally we have dinner. And that's when he says, hey man, look, I have this idea. I want to know what you think. But more importantly, I want you to find out and I want to know what your family thinks, because it's a family business where you're at, and you've kind of helped get that family business to the point where it is now. And the last thing I want to do is take you away from there and have them, pissed off at me. I was like, okay, no problem. That sounds good. I will talk to the family. Abe, before I finish the conversation, they have my bags packed and I said, get out of here and go. And I joined Drew Estate in 2010, man. And it's been a hell of a ride. It's been great. And here we are going on 12 years later, man. It's crazy. 12 years already.
Now, wow, look at that.
That was the first year.
Look at that. We see so much more of your face back then.
Age, bro. Age. I was so youthful in that picture, man.
So you're titled as Master Blender at Drew Estate. Now, are you involved in any of the? I mean, obviously, the Hoya de Nicaragua cigars are blended down at the Hoya de Nicaragua factory. Are you involved in the blends of any of the other Drew Estate lines, or just the Willie Herrera blends?
So, a lot of people don't know this. I never came into Drew Estate to be the master blender of the company. The idea was to come into to Drew Estate and expand the traditional side of cigars for Drew Estate. And the concept was to have a Herrera line or Herrera umbrella coming out of Drew Estate blended by me, not the Drew Estate team that was creating everything else for Drew Estate. So essentially we're going to have, two blenders or two blending departments for Drew Estate. And that was the goal, that was the plan. And so Herrera Esteli was born. And, the cigar, the first year got number 8 cigar of the year. And everybody was like, oh my God, we've never had like a top 10 cigar with, coming out of Drew Estate, whatever. So then the following cigar is the Norteño. Norteño gets number 7 cigar of the year. And it was like, this huge thing going on because, we never really had any top 10 cigars rated in the CA magazine,
Were those cigars being rolled in Nicaragua, or were they being made in Little Havana?
No, everything at that point. So once I joined Drew Estate, all I did and all my work was for Drew Estate in Nicaragua.
Right.
No more blending or no more really much, because I just didn't have the time. I was living for the first year and a half in Nicaragua, in the factory, in the back in the safari. So everything was coming out of Drew Estate. All my blending was being done there. All the tobacco used was our tobacco there from Drew Estate. And so Norteño comes out. Norteño gets number 7. And shortly after the release of the Norteño is when Jonathan says, okay, you know what? I want you to do all the blending for Drew Estate. You're going to be the master blender for the company. So then I took the role of not only the Herrera Esteli blender or Herrera Esteli umbrella, but then as I was also responsible for everything else together with the existing team of Drew Estate, for everything else coming out of Drew Estate. And the very first cigar was that I blended as the master blender for the company. The first cigar that I blended outside of the Herrera brand was the Undercrown Shade. That was the very first cigar. So anything that's come out after the Undercrown Shade, I've had my hand in creating, as well as all the other Herrera cigars that have come out.
That's a lot of cigars.
That's a pretty cool transition. Yeah, that's.
Hence why
what was your impression of
the stress, the aging,
What was your Willie? What was your impression of Jonathan when you first met him? Had you met him before?
I had never met him. I had only seen pictures, and so I knew he was this crazy dude. What appeared to be this crazy dude.
You like to use the word eccentric.
Eccentric. Well, for me, eccentric is different. Like for me, eccentric is the guy that's driving around in a Lamborghini and gold chains and rings everywhere. You know what I mean? That's for me more eccentric. For me, he was just like, man, this guy's nuts. You know, the hip hop music blasting in the booth. You know, the upside down visor hat, the goggles, the shade, the glasses with the tints on. It's like, man, this guy's nuts. So it wasn't until after meeting him and really speaking to him and learning more about him, I'm like, this dude's a freaking genius, man. I mean, this guy, yeah, he appears this way, but what's going on here? I mean, this dude is off the chain, and he's always thinking 3, 4, 5, 10 steps ahead of what you think. And when you don't think he's listening because he's looking at something or he's texting on his phone or looking at a video and you're saying something in the background, he stops. Hey, but what about then? You're like, how did this guy even hear what I was saying? You know? So yeah, man, it's you know, it's a bond that over time has gotten stronger. Not only with him, but with the factory, everybody in there that I work closely with, and you know, I consider them part of the family. You know.
Awesome. Well, it wasn't a short synopsis, but there it is in a nutshell: the history of Willie Herrera. Path coming on to Drew Estate. We got a lot more with Willie coming up in hour 2. We got some exciting news that we're going to talk about of a project that Smoke Inn has been working on with Willie. Started probably a little over 2 years ago. It's coming to fruition very soon. We're going to talk about that in hour 2. Also up ahead in hour 2 for everybody is our Scoop with Coop, Heel of the Tape, Season 4, Episode 3.
Yes.
Episode 3. You should put that on there, Paul. It's hard for me to remember, so I know what I'm queuing up.
Okay, I'll number them.
Thank you, sir.
and name that jam, of course.
Yeah, name that jam, and of course, name that jam powered by Alba Cigars, and of course, one of our newer segments, which seems to be catching some traction. Would You Rather, sponsored by Gherkin Cigars. We'll have all that coming up in hour number 2. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it lit.
Surgeon General warning. Cigar smoking can cause cancers of the mouth and throat, even if you do not inhale.
Celebrating 85 years of success, the Monte Cristo 1935 Anniversary Nicaragua is a tribute to the outstanding accomplishments the brand has achieved since their inception, receiving multiple awards such as the #2 Cigar of the Year in 2021 for Cigar Aficionado, 2021's Best Cigar for Cigar Snob magazine, and 3 more prestigious awards. The Monte Cristo 1935 Anniversary Nicaragua comes from the creative minds of Rafael Nadal, AJ Fernandez, and the Grupo de Maestros. This full-body Nicaraguan Puro pays homage to the original tobaccos that were used in the very first Monte Cristo cigar that was ever produced. Flavor notes you'll detect while smoking this gem are pepper, cedar, and chocolate, which pairs perfectly with a cappuccino. No matter what 4 sizes you pick, this classic smoke will send you on a trip down memory lane and all the way back to 1935.
Paul, what are you doing?
Enjoying some Bonner Private Wines and circling the cul-de-sac. I'm doing viral marketing for our friends at KMAWines.com. Bonner Private Wines, they sell some really great Argentinian wines that you can't get anywhere else. And if you go to KMAWines.com, you can get a discount and join their Wine of the Month Club. Discount on shipping, discount on product, just because you're KMA viewers and listeners. So check it out, KMAWines.com. I'm just staying in the circle. I'm not like, drinking and driving. This is just viral marketing, letting these neighbors over here know what we're doing. But take a sip. I'm gonna just, KMAWines.com.
Bravo. So we now know the formula of getting anything done for KMA when we need it.
I don't want to hear it.
What's the formula, Alex?
Stephanie.
Yep.
We literally had the conversation yesterday.
We literally had the conversation. Was it yesterday or the day before? Yeah, day before yesterday.
I don't know. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was Thursday before. Yeah. So Thursday we were on our little KMA pre-meeting, and Stephanie comes on. We have a little talk with her, and sure enough, we tell her. And guess what happens?
Boom. New commercial.
Don't you have the mics that we gave?
I was going to say the same thing. What's the point?
No, you guys have them. Alex took them when we went to JC Newman. You have them.
I took them. I mean, I took them.
Well, you said to give them back to you because I wasn't using them.
We might have packed them up.
Are you going to use them? Do I need to go dig them out?
Yeah, dig them out.
Just get one to me. I'll get it to Steph. We'll make sure.
Hold on. My wife is not on the KMA payroll here. Although you know what's funny?
Maybe in fact, I'd like her banking information because I'm going to start sending her your pay.
Right.
What do you mean? You think that we don't have a joint account that it goes to? Actually, no. You're right. That goes to a private account.
Careful. Well, it's not private anymore.
You know what's funny? My wife will enjoy a cigar very, very infrequently, but when she does, she very much enjoys a cigar. But she actually mentioned last night when we were at the baseball game afterwards, she's like, I could go for a cigar tonight. It just didn't happen because we came home and it was craziness here. But she mentioned last night, so maybe this weekend we'll smoke a cigar together.
Was that baseball game, the Banana Fanatics, where you got very emotional?
The Savannah Bananas, baby.
Oh, the Savannah Bananas, yeah.
Who did they play?
It's something the Animals. It's like another made up team. They're the bad guys on the team. So they came out and like funny. Listen, we should have brought the kids, but we really needed a night without the children. So the one good thing is that it's such a family centric event. There were more people in that ballpark, by the way, the ballpark of the Palm Beaches where the Astros and the Washington Nationals do their spring training. There were more people in that ballpark last night than they've ever had before. And it was so noticeable with the concessions that they could not keep up. They ran out of hot dogs. They ran out of chips. They ran out of fries. They couldn't handle the amount of beer was selling out like crazy. It was unbelievable, but the beer lines were short, which was nice. So we kind of
paid. Yeah, he gets paid. That's where my frustration comes from. He gets paid.
All right, hold on. Let me add Joe to the list of people who used to be my friends. All right. Perfect.
Oh, okay. Dude, that's continue. A long list.
He's right under Chrissy Critchfield now.
It's just a matter of time, Paul, before they all see the light.
That's true.
Willie, how's your musical acumen?
How's my musical what?
Acumen. You like music? You're a music guy?
I like music, man. I like it all, though.
What's your favorite genre of music?
See, that's the thing. There is no favorites like cigars. I don't have a favorite cigar.
All right, so tell me.
I don't have a favorite music.
If I get in the car with you and we go on a road trip, tell me the first 3 songs I'm probably going to hear on your playlist.
Well, it depends what we're going to do. It depends where we're going. So,
okay.
Typically, if we're going up to our camp up in Central Florida, up by Lake Wales, since we leave the house, it's country. If we're driving up to Georgia, up to the cabin, it's country. When we're in Georgia, it's all country. If we're feeling a little...
How does a Miami guy get into country music?
I don't know, man, but I love it, dude. I love it.
Gosh, that's the one genre I can't connect with.
Now, if we're on the boat, out in the sandbar, you're not playing country. There you're playing, reggaeton or a little techno trance or a little hip hop. So it all depends on the vibe of what's going on. You know what I mean? But I will say 60% of the time, it's probably country.
Well, we're going to test your musical acumen right
now.
Oh, God. I doubt that it's going to be any of the genres you mentioned, but let's find it out. It's time to Name That Jam, presented by Alpo Cigars. Avo Avizian, musician extraordinaire whose line and cigars has always been entwined towards music. Only fitting that we have a episode called Name That Jam. How this works, Willie, is we're going to play only about 3 seconds of a song. And we're going to see if you could tell us, if you could actually name that jam. Hit it, Alex.
Here we go.
And I can hear the lyrics right there. It just went through my head.
You want it again, Willie?
Do it again.
All right.
Man, I had no idea. All I gotta say, okay, Led Zeppelin. I was gonna say Leonard Skinner.
Paul,
I have no idea what the name is.
Before you start jamming answers up on the screen.
What a dope.
You are a dope.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we're not giving the answers away. I'm just showing what people are saying.
So I take it classic rock is not too much of your genre.
You know, I do like it. Occasional. Let me try to think some of the groups. Oh my God. There's a couple groups, and I do play it occasionally here at home if I'm working out in the yard. I'll tell you what I don't do is jazz or classical. That I do not do. But I do like that classic rock. I do. I'm just really bad with names, as you could tell. But there are a few bands that I do like.
Well, Paul, if anybody hasn't figured out by now, let's reveal what that jam was. Man, I'm telling you.
Whole lot of love.
As soon as that 3-second bit finished, all I heard was Robert Plant's voice in my head. You need cooling. Right away. Well, Willie Herrera, you did not name that jam, but thank you for playing this episode of Name That Jam by Avo Cigars. You know, might be good to do a little research and see what genres, if we could find out some of our future guests. Because if you're not into a genre, it's going to be really hard.
Well, I was thinking about that, and I was like, well, Willie, I mean, what am I don't know. I don't want to be stereo. Like, I don't want to go grab like Buena Vista Social Club and like stereotype them. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me.
I would have never ever thought country.
Oh yeah. I'm all over the place, man.
So un-Miami, brother.
You know, I tell people all the time, I'm so un-Miami, me as a person. I don't go to South Beach. I don't go down to Brickell. I don't go down to, Coconut Grove. You want to see me in my happy place? Put me up north, put me in the woods, put me up in the mountains.
Wow.
Put me in a farm down in Homestead. I'm so unlike Miami, despite being born and raised in Miami, in the city. Put me in the sticks, man. Put me out in the Everglades. I'm happy there. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a thing of old age. I don't know if it's a thing. No, it can be old age. So I remember as a kid, my cousin lived out in Hialeah Gardens, which was out west of the turnpike off of Okeechobee Road. And at that time, when they built their house, there was nothing out there. It was, houses here, houses there. It was mainly farms with cows and horses and stuff like that. So I used to love going over there on the weekends because we would get on the ATCs or go-karts and just drive around or go into the woods with their BB guns. So I guess since a very young age, I liked the woods and I liked the outdoor stuff. I could count probably on one hand how many clubs I've been through as an adult, and it's not very many. I'll tell you, the last time I went to South Beach was probably 1999, somewhere around there, 98. That's the last time I went to South Beach, unless there was some kind of an event or something that I had to go to South Beach for. But outside of that, nah, you won't catch me anywhere near there.
Well, I also hear you're a big foodie.
Oh yeah.
What are some of your favorite places to eat?
Well, I don't get out much, so I'll cook it. I'll cook it here, right? Or I'll pick up. So one of our
in that sense, what dish do you make the best that you think?
Indian.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Now you curveball the hell out of me.
Indian with country music playing in the background.
What Indian dish?
I love it.
We love Indian. My wife and I eat regularly. What Indian dish do you make?
Butter chicken.
Butter chicken.
I love butter chicken.
Butter chicken, tikka masala. Wife will tell you. We had that last night. I didn't make it this time. We buy it from a place that's not too far from here. And I dropped off my son at a birthday party. And on the way home, I picked it up. But those two, she'll say, she's like, oh my God, there's whatever restaurant, this tops it. So I would say those are my top two. But
you got a clay oven in the backyard?
No, man.
Okay.
No, it's all on the stove. I would say my second best would be oxtail.
Oh, I like me a mean oxtail.
Yeah. I say those would be my two top for me. Wife doesn't eat oxtail. My kids don't like oxtail, so that's like for me.
Oxtail.
It's too fatty. They don't like it.
Oh, so
But that's what makes it so good.
It's more for me, man. You know.
Paul loves anything butter and fat. Look how excited he's getting.
Oh man, listen, I'm being starved. The only way I lost weight was being starved in my house. But oxtail stew,
yeah, I love cooking.
I wouldn't lose any more weight. You're looking shorter, actually.
You haven't seen me in person. I've gained some weight back.
We always do. Losing weight's not the problem. It's not finding it again that's the issue.
I'm really good at gaining weight. I enjoy food though. It's funny that you say butter chicken though, because we have new neighbors across the street, and they're doctors. They're both from India, and my wife was talking to them the other night, and she's like, I know this sounds weird, but it smells so good out here. What are you cooking? And they were cooking butter chicken, and they didn't, but they said they would bring some over, so I'm hoping they will, because that's like one of our favorites. They're like, oh, we'll bring some over for you. And Stephanie's like, we love it. But they haven't yet. I might have to make some sauce and bring it over there and kind of, ease them into sharing food with us.
That's funny. So I'm going to start getting into a project that I've had the pleasure and honor of working with the Drew Estate team and Willie on now for a while. So, we've had a lot of milestone over the years as an organization and company, and coming on our 25th one, we really started thinking about it early. What do we want to do that's special for our 25th? And, Jonathan and the Drew Estate team and organization have kind of been intertwined with Smoke Inn throughout the years. We met both on early in our career and been part of each other's endeavors and worked on a multitude of projects together over the years. And it was only fitting that 2021 was the 25th anniversary of both our organizations. So when we reached out to Drew Estate to tell them about our project and what we wanted to do, we were honored and blown away when not only they jumped on board, but and got Willie to work on a very special blend for us. But it was actually produced at his family's renowned factory, El Titan de Bronze factory, down in Little Havana in Miami. So it was very amazing. And then, at that time when we were working on this project and thinking about it, the press release had come out from Padron and Fuente. And I don't know if that project's still in the works or it's coming out, but they were going to do tributes to their fathers who had both passed away. May they rest in peace. And, it just dawned upon me, my dad has been such an integral part of my life. And, it's a shame that their fathers weren't around to see this. I knew them both. In fact, I was very, very close with Jose Orlando. He used to call me El Gordo de West Palm Beach, all the time. So
lovingly,
of course. And it's probably
actually it was immediately after the episode that we had Carlito on. and you talked about it, I think that's when you immediately
Yeah.
started putting it right into play. After having the conversation, you were immediately go ahead.
Yeah, because why wait till they're gone? So I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna make my 25th anniversary cigar a tribute to my father. And we had Raji come in. You know, I call him Roger. We had Raj come in, and Willie had worked on these cigars, and they were in the factory down there. My dad had never been to Delta Tiny Bronze factory, so we kind of got a little video documentary of the whole experience. We drove down to the factory. I think Alex got some footage of us there. This was end of last summer, you know, and spent the day down there with Sandy and Willie and the guys from Drew Estate. And the cigar is getting ready to come out. There was a press release supposed to. There we are. There's my dad all suited up. He was excited for the day. We drove down there. We saw the cigars. We talked with Willie. A lot of the video footage and the little mini documentary I did will be coming out in the upcoming weeks. Press release was supposed to drop yesterday. I think it's going to drop Monday, hopefully. But I just want to talk a little bit about the cigar, Willie, and you know more about it than we do. We just know how good it tastes. Alex, you got a picture of the final product, or Paul? I think one of you guys got a picture of the final product. We're very proud of the look, everything. There it is, the Raji. Celebrating our 25th anniversary. Very excited.
I love the black and gold.
It really is. It really came out nice. The cigar is great. So you know, we know historically, Willie, you claim you don't like to pair things with cigars. So you are the master blender. Tell us a little bit about this blend you made for us.
Well, I wanted to do something special, a little bit different from the regular Herrera City lines. Norteño, Herrera Brazil, Herrera Habano. And, we have tons and tons of protected SKUs and blends and furrows at El Titan. Sizes, different wrappers, different blends. And I'm like, you know what? Let me take this opportunity to be able to do what we used to do back in the day before the whole FDA stuff, and how you're more limited and more controlled as to what changes you could do and what you could use and you can't use based off what you have protected and stuff like that. So I was going through all of our stuff, going through some old blends and stuff that I had worked on years and years ago before Drew Estate. And I found this one blend, and I started working with that. And the cigar ended up being a 6x50 Toro with a Mexican wrapper, San Andres wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder, and then a blend of Dominican with Nicaraguan fillers. And the result is this hearty, meaty, chewy blend. This cigar that it's like, man, what is this? Because it's so different from anything else in our lineup, in our portfolio. And so it's just a fantastic smoke. I mean, I was trying to smoke this one very slowly, but as you could tell, it didn't work. I'm almost to the end now. This is a Raji. And I'm just so excited for the release of this, man, because, it's every cigar is always special when it comes out, because you put all this time into it, getting that blend right, making sure you're going to have enough tobaccos, making sure that consistency stays true through the expectancy of that cigar, not only as you're working on that blend to release it, but then moving forward after that. But in this case, it's something an additional specialness added to the cigar, because it's for your dad, and it carries his name, and it's something that just makes it that much more special. You got to make damn sure that this thing, people are going to be like, wow, because it's for your dad. And, you can't have second best. It can be, oh, okay, it's all right. Here you go. Here's this cigar. No, you got to put that much more into it, man. And, it's Drew Estate's name behind it. It's, El Titan, the Bronze name behind it. It's my name behind it. But it's your dad's name that's on there.
Yeah, it's a lot of names on that box involved.
That cigar has to be special. And, we had some issues in the beginning. And, you remember we called you, hey, man, I'm not good with this. I'm sorry, and you're the first one to say, don't worry,
Yeah.
and it's ready. You know,
And I'm curious because as a blender, what happened? Because we had smoked some. We had some early that you had sent us. We loved it. And in the documentary, my dad and I smoked some going down. What happens, or what does that, where a batch will change on you to the point where you'll say, we're not ready with this cigar all of a sudden?
Abe, so what ended up happening with that particular cigar is, as we started going through bales of tobacco, the tobacco just wasn't coming out how the top part of those bales were coming out, and the cigars just weren't right. They weren't right. They didn't taste right to me, and I didn't want to take the chance, so I pulled them all back. I remember they had just gotten to the factory, to Drew Estate, everything, all of them, and I'm like, where are the cigars? No, they just got unloaded. Load them back up and send them to us. What are you talking about? I'm like, send them back. They're not right. And that's what we did. And then we called you, and you're like, I understand. Do what you need to do. It's got to be right. That's the thing with tobacco and cigars. You can't rush it. You can't rush that fermentation process. You can't rush that aging process. And they just weren't right, man. And I wasn't gonna allow those cigars to come out and get into somebody's hands and smoke it. And they're like, oh my God, this is all the hype. So we started all over again, started from scratch.
We were in the documentary that we filmed. I mean, we're in the aging room where all the cigars had been there. So we saw them done. And I tell you, even funny is I don't know if my dad's watching. He typically works out at the gym in the mornings, but I had to start watching all the footage so we could start compiling and editing the documentary. And the next morning, we really spent a beautiful day. We were there all day. Sandy and you had treated us to Cuban sandwiches and a special drink. What's that drink called?
Oh, the Mamey shake.
Mamey. We had a Mamey shake, and my dad, you want to earn my dad's respect, just be a hard worker. That's when he truly can relate to somebody. And that's all he saw there from your mother-in-law to you. I mean, we have footages of Sandy's mom at the table. How old is Sandy's mom?
93.
93, she's putting cigar bands on cigars. I mean, it's insane. So the first question I asked him the next morning, as we're doing like a conclusion to the documentary, what a day yesterday, and his response was, the best day of my life. And he was genuine, like that day will forever be remembered. I mean, he just thought it was an amazing experience, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. So we're excited about the cigar. There has been a lot of questions here, and I'll just give you guys a synopsis on the cigar. We've produced 1,500 boxes. So we want the cigar to be around for a while. We don't want it to be a flash. In fact, we're tying in a promotion for every box bought between now and it'll come out in the press release, I think the end of August. It'll get you one entry. We're going to give away some special prizes to anybody around the country. Originally, our goal was to have a bunch of people who win do a Drew Estate factory tour with my father and I, but even with the delay of a year and whatever, legal ain't clearing it. There are no cigar safaris coming back up, so it's changed into another cool little promotion to spend some time with the great folks at Drew Estate and my dad and myself. That'll happen in October or later this year. We're going to launch this event. Once again, intertwining the live with the virtual. We're going to launch this event to the world virtually on May 7th. We're going to have Willie on, my dad on, the folks. Oh, that's not it, Paul. Oh, we're almost there, Paul. Way on cue. But we're going to launch it virtually May 7th to the world. There's a beautiful Raji commemorative ashtray that'll come with every box. And that'll start May 7th. I think it's at 5 or 7 p.m., but we'll get all the data out next week for everybody in the country. But incorporating a live event on May 6th, Friday night, and there'll only be 250 of these tickets available. Now you can put up the post. There you go. We are doing a very exclusive VIP launch of this event with both. Wow, they couldn't find a more updated picture of Willie? Holy cow.
I'll take that one, man. I was younger.
Holy cow! So we're going to do a VIP rooftop event at the True Hilton in Pompano Beach. Like I said, there's only 250 tickets available. Open bar, there'll be hors d'oeuvres, and it comes with one hell of a cigar package, which will include, these will be the first people in the country to get the Raji cigar with the commemorative ashtray, and also another cigar package from Drew Estate. I think it's 29 cigars in total. Jonathan will be there. Willie will be there. You'll get some special cigars like the Savage Feast and some Cajachinas and the Willie Lancero, and DJ Eli will be there. This will be a extravaganza unlike any other. And then we also have some pretty cool raffles. Someone from this VIP party will be giving away. Do we have a picture of it, Alex, or no?
No, we don't have one up.
Oh, that Drew Estate was awesome enough to make us some 25th anniversary El Raji mega and mini standing ashtrays. So we will have a big one to give away. 40, and they look pretty cool. Alex, you got a picture? You sent me one.
Yeah, I'll let me see if I can get it up.
He's got the mini, and we'll be giving one away during the virtual event on May 7th, a little mini standing ashtray. So just hang tight. We'll give all the information coming out next week. We actually planned on Willie coming in the show because the assumption was the information was going to go out yesterday, and we were going to talk about it. But it'll be coming up in the upcoming weeks. And the rooftop party ticket sales, I believe, are going to go on sale Wednesday. So if everything goes along, you'll be able to get it, first 250 people. And we're pumped up. We're excited. Cigar was phenomenal. We smoked it. And we can't wait to share it with the world, the great effort that you and your family and the guys at Drew Estate put into it. Very proud and awesome to be able to celebrate our 25th anniversary milestone with another company that's been like family to us, who are celebrating their 25th anniversary milestone. So it was almost serendipitous to work together on this project, Willie. And thank you so much for your time and your effort and everything that you put into this project. We appreciate it.
No, man. Thank you guys for the opportunity. It's going to be an unbelievable. I've seen pictures of the place, the venue. Oh, my God. I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a really, really memorable night for sure. It's going to be a good time, man. So hope everybody can make it.
To answer Kevin Shahan's question, no one's saying there's no more cigar safaris. It's just right now there isn't any. So it's very hard to do a promotion when you don't even know when it's going to come back. We were hoping they would come back before we started this, but it's not. So it's kind of hard to say that, hey, we're going to do a promotion, and when and if it ever comes back, this is what you'll get. So we kind of made a cool ancillary prize, not as exciting as going down to Nicaragua, but smoking, Drew Estate. It's not going to be a non-epic time for the people who win. And like I said, all that information will come out next week. Well, we are kind of past. Oh, we're about that time. Do we have Coupon?
Yeah, he's here.
All right, good. While Alex is looking for that mini mega standing ashtray, let's get our man KMA correspondent William Cooper and find out what is the scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
Coop.
What's up, Koopa?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Willie. How's it going?
What's up, buddy? How are you, man?
Doing good. And Abe, just to comment, wonderful opportunity to get to do something for your dad like that. So, I know where that's coming from right now. So,
yeah,
very happy for you.
Yeah, man. Thank you. He's there it is. That's the mini.
That's the mini.
That's stand up that we'll give away virtually during the event, along with some other cool stuff. That's on May 7th. That's the virtual event that we'll be doing it across the country. Everybody will be participating. And then we have a live VIP rooftop event May 6th, and information and tickets and all that will be coming out early next week. So very cool.
Yep.
So Coop, what is the scoop this week?
Busy week, actually a very busy week. So we'll kick it off with a story that was broken by Bear Duplessis on Cigar Coop. Tatuaje has announced a new line of cigars called the Tuzla. I think I said that right. Tuzla. It's a Mexican wrapped inspired line. And it's actually a limited production line. And what it's going to feature is it's going to feature San Andreas Mexican wrappers on some popular Tatuaje sizes. So there'll be a T110 version of this with a Mexican wrapper, a Avion 13 version, which is the Perfecto that they've done, and the 7th, which is the Corona Gorda. So this was what I've been told. It's a limited offering, 2,000 boxes for the Avion and 7th, 4,000 boxes for the T110, 25 count boxes, and folks should start seeing this on the shelves in about a month.
Awesome. Now, is this? I read somewhere. Is this something that was inspired by the ME line?
Yes, it was definitely inspired by the ME line. I think Pete was pretty happy with the way that project went, and it kind of inspired him to kind of look and see where he could use this Mexican wrapper elsewhere.
Very cool. What else you got going on, Drew?
Well, speaking of Mexican wrappers, Crown Heads announced this year's version of the Mule Kick, which is their limited edition cigar they do off the Four Kicks line. And for the last few years, they've been changing the wrapper on this cigar using various different wrappers. And this year just happens to be a Mexican wrapper that's going to be on the Mule Kick. And it's the first time the Mexican wrapper has been used on that particular line of the cigar. It's going to be the same. That cigar every year is the same size, a 5 7/8 by 52 Vitola. It's going to be available in 10 count boxes. About 4,000 boxes are going to be made available, pricing about $11.95. So folks can look forward to that. That's the Mule Kick's returning for the first time after like a year off. So the Mule Kick's back this year with a brand new wrapper, brand new blend.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah. This is an interesting one. Maybe you like this one, Abe. Diesel Cigars has announced a new installment of its limited edition value-priced Sunday Gravy cigar. The name of this cigar, and Paul, you'll and actually all three of you guys will appreciate this. It's called the Gabagool.
Like,
the Gabagool, yes. And for folks who don't know what gabagool is, I realize everyone may not know what it is. It's a dry cured meat that is, it was made very popular on the show The Sopranos. But it was a staple of like my diet growing up, and whenever I can get it,
it's heaven.
It's heaven. It's a great sandwich meat, is what I'll just say. But if you saw that, Tony Soprano would be going to the refrigerator, he'd pull out the gabagool like in the paper wrap. But it was always the case. I don't know how this translates to a cigar. I'm going to be completely honest with you on this, right? I have actually Justin coming on my show on Thursday. I'm going to have to ask him this one, but they've been doing these Sunday Gravy, which is these Italian food-inspired cigars. I know there's a lot around that too, but if you're interested in the blend, Sumatra wrapper, Connecticut broadleaf binder, and all Nicaraguan fillers in a 5 1/4 by 45 Lonsdale. Pricing's at $5 a cigar, and that should be starting to ship to retailers early this month.
The Gabagool.
Yep, the Gabagool. If you're a Steve Saka fan, you got some. In addition, last week the beef stick was announced. It's on sale right now, but this week he announced a new version of his Muestra de Saka series. It's called Bewitched. And the story behind this cigar is he originally did a blend for a store in Massachusetts called Owl Shop. It was a blend that was pretty popular with the owner and the patrons. And in fact, the owner kind of encouraged Steve to go ahead and expand the distribution of this. It was too good to be kept as a store exclusive. So that's going to be this year's Muestra de Saka. It looks like it's going to debut right around the trade show. If you're interested in this, it is Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, San Andreas binder, Nicaraguan and U.S. grown fillers. It's also the difference is this is a 6 5/8 by 50 Prensado box press. So I believe this is the first Muestra de Saka that's been released nationally to use the the box press, and typically those come in the coffin boxes that are so each individual coffin for those cigars. But that will be coming later this year.
Yeah, just to be clear, the beef sticks didn't go on sale. The pre-orders went out.
Correct. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, the pre-orders.
Yeah, last year we implemented the little pre-order system, which worked out great for us. No one got to miss out on the cigar. So for a $25 deposit, you could secure as many as you want. That pre-order status is open for another week. I think it ends on April 8th. And then we will submit our order to Steve Saka, and he will make them to order. And the drop will once again be around Thanksgiving time later this year. So that pre-order status is going on right now. And we will be getting the Bewitched in as soon as it lands. I'm sure everybody will know.
Yeah. And I saw you guys had Steve Saka on your live stream on Thursday. That was actually one of the shorter Steve Saka shows.
Well, I had to fly out, but actually Alex and I kind of had fun. We were talking about this. I think we might just do these little smoke-in and intimate conversation with, maybe once a month or so, just with certain people, because it's a completely different format than what we do here, right? So we kind of have an agenda and a timeline that we follow. And it was just like a nice, 90 minute, like the round table discussion. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's especially with a single store release, it's kind of in a lot of ways a low cost way to promote your message there, and I think your audience gets something out of it as well. So I actually applaud you guys for doing that, because I just think it creates I think a lot of lately I think the single store release market is very saturated these days. Everyone wants to have one. And I think what you guys are doing is creating some excitement and making people find a reason to want these cigars even more. So I think good job by you guys. I got to say that.
Thank you. Well, we've been doing this now for 2010.
Yeah.
Been doing this now for over 12 years. And as much as anybody, these projects with anybody, it's something that we're always really committed to. It's not just, hey, let's make a cigar. We like to put our little heart and soul in it. So I think that translates to the consumer base with us. And that's why I think our microblend series has a great following. In fact, actually, Alex, this would constitute, this is a smoking microblend. So we actually have to add it to the list. The Raji.
Yeah, absolutely.
Raji. I don't even know what number we're at now. Is it 18? Cooper probably know better than me.
It's around that. I have to look because I know some of them had re-releases.
Yeah, we don't count the re-releases as a
microblend. So it's the first time it's released as one.
Yeah. So the RML was a microblend in 2018, and that was it. But I think we're on 18 now. So
yeah, I think 18 or maybe 19. I don't know. If
and
it's counting Raj, should be 19.
And this is the second one from Drew Estate. So you got this joining the Pope from Greenwich Village.
Speaking of the Pope, Pope is going to have an annual drop this year, so I think it's going to drop in late July, June. But stay tuned with some packaging revamp. I kind of like the new packaging, so this will be interesting. So,
well, Drew Estate also has the original microblend before it was a microblend.
The actual first microblend that Kevin Shahan is the sole lobbyist for the comeback. That's all he keeps talking about. But yeah, literally, the first microblend was what Drew Estate was calling back then a subculture. Was the Acid Ming.
Right. Good point. It was, but you didn't call it microblend then. That was the difference.
Microblend. We didn't even have a website back then. That was just a single store release. We were taking orders over the phone for people who were seeking it out. We didn't have a website back then. But that kind of what inspired it when I saw how that worked. And, during that time, beer was getting huge with these microbrews. And I just thought it'd be cool to make batches of cigars that were just made once, the exact same crop of bales of tobacco where the last box literally tasted like the first box, and it's taken off well, and it's become an integral part of our company as we grow.
Yeah, you remember that Anarchy? There was a lot of that was just a true juggernaut of a single store release that I've ever seen. There was just one
of the coolest. Anybody who really, I don't know how much of our patrons go back that far with us, but that was just probably, I'm going to say, one of the coolest campaigns to ever be done in this industry because it was like 8 months long. You know, the first thing we did was throw it out there, a Tatuaje logo that converted into an anarchy symbol with just a simple message, sign up for the anarchy. Nobody knew what we were talking about. Nobody knew it was us. It was just put out there. We hid the URL owner and the ownership. And I never, the day we put it out, it was just a simple URL. We planted it on some bulletin boards back then. And it went like wildfire, where it was just a Tatuaje logo, and then there was an electric thing, and it transformed into an anarchy logo. And it said, join the anarchy. And I got a call from like 30 minutes after we kind of leaked it out there. I got a call from Pete Johnson in Nicaragua. He said, what did you do? I said, why? He's like, my phone is ringing off the hook. Everybody wants to know what this is about. They want to know I'm starting a new rock band, if I'm coming out with a line of clothing. It was insane. And we'd already told Pete that we weren't gonna say anything of what it was about for a very, very long time. And then we created a special website. Alex, Dennis and Brian worked on that website. I wanted to see if I could just pull that up because historically it was so cool. But we had this anarchy website we created. You have to still, at this point, people didn't know what this was about. So there was a globe that would turn, and every 3 or 4 weeks, a new red dot in a city would flash on the globe, whether it was Brussels. And when you clicked on it, it showed some anarchy scene in that country. And superimposed somewhere in that scene was me with a cigar, but nobody knew. And it was Paul. You're still on mute if you don't know.
I'm just laughing.
Oh, it was incredible campaign. So that was kind of cool, but it was about anarchy. They still didn't know it was about a cigar, even though I was hidden in everyone very well with a cigar. And it was funny because after all came out, everybody would go back and look for it. It was like Where's Waldo? And then we went down to Little Havana as Pete was going to Miami. We filmed. It was actually in Pete's factory, like a bunker scene where there was sounds coming out, like people were rioting, trying to get in and find out what was going on. It was really wild, man. It was a wild campaign. And then when it finally came out what it was and who it was, and there was a cigar that was being made for us, it blew it up. In fact, it was in Playboy magazine. Yep. It came out in December, and I think the following February was in Playboy magazine. And I think the caption was they used cigars not for your grandfather, or not your grandfather's cigar. So it was very, very cool because when Playboy reached out to us, said, "He sends us a couple boxes." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Why? And they wrote a nice article. They wrote a nice article about it. And I'm going back then. You have to remember, this is now 12 years ago, where we just started a website maybe, and when that release, it crashed it because we did it on Black Friday, and we really had no clue what we were doing then. The initial run on that microblend was 1,600 boxes. And we were a 3-store chain with no e-commerce really. And I remember Pete saying, "Are you crazy?" Because I think at that time he was doing like 200 boxes for people here and there. And not only did we clear those 1,600 boxes, after the Playboy article, he went and made another run of 1,600 boxes. I mean, that's an absurd amount of cigars. Yeah. For a small, back then, we really were a small operation. So, yeah, that was one of the coolest campaigns that I'd ever seen in the cigar industry.
It was a lot of fun, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
I'm going to dig up that Anarchy website. I'm going to find it. I think we still got files of it somewhere, but it was just really neat.
You could probably get it from Wayback Time Machine, too.
Yeah,
maybe.
Online.
Maybe. I don't know the hidden components of the globe, and I think we're using plugins and technology that are no longer available on browsers anymore. So who knows? Anything else you got going on, Coop?
Oh, one last story. If you're a Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary fan, there's a new size called the Espresso coming out. It's a 5.5 by 60 Vitola. So if you're a thick ring gauge fan and you like that blend, you're gonna have one hitting the stores next month. They'll be in 10-count boxes, priced at $18. So I think that was a good move for Altadis to add a 60 into that line, which is going to hit a good segment in the market for them.
60 is always a funny thing with us. We talk, almost comes up in conversation every week. We're not sure if the market's slowing down or just there's so much expansion on the SKU availability of 6x60. There's no one dominant thing. Yeah. For many years, there was just a couple dominant 6x60 lines, and we just don't see that domination by any one company in particular anymore.
No, there isn't. But I would say the 70 ring gauge market, that 60 plus ring gauge market, that one has definitely decreased in popularity. I think that one's come down a lot. The 60s, I think it's more of the latter. What you said, I think it's just that everyone's doing a 60 right now. So,
yeah, the 60 plus people started getting lockjaw. So,
but there are like I know guys like on my day job. They're just older guys, and they just love their big ring gauge cigars. They and that's what they look for 60. Some of these guys. So, we'll see. Like I said, I like a 60 if it's blended right. Is what I'll say. Usually, if it's blended for a 60, it's very good.
Willie, 60 ring gauge ever in your rotation?
No, man. My limit is 52. That's the biggest I go. Definitely more of a smaller ring gauge guy. 42, 44, 46. Max 52 for me.
As I gotten older, like sweet spot.
Yeah.
42, 46, 48 ring gauges.
Go.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good. All right. All good stuff. Thank you, William Cooper, for your contribution this week. As always, please visit cigar-coop.com for up-to-date news, information, and fun with William Cooper. That being said, we are going to engage ourselves into Tale of the Tape, Season 4, Episode 3, The Best Mascots Ever.
All right, here we go. Tale of the Tape, season 4. Season 4, pick number 8. My pick coming in is Sparty, the Spartan, Michigan State Spartans. Very recognizable character. You see him, you know what it is, you know the colors. Also, it's another selfish pick for me. I'm a big Greek history and Spartan guy, and he fits in with everything I dig about Spartans. I mean, I have Spartan shit all over, so this was a selfish pick. And look, he's probably one of the top college mascots there are. What do you got, Coop?
Yeah, it's interesting that you went college. I also went college. And what was funny is last week, when you went with the live mascot, I was kind of relieved because I didn't know if I can go with a live mascot or not. And it turns out I am going with a live mascot. And I'm going with Ralphie the Buffalo from Colorado University of Colorado, I should say. And Ralphie's a Buffalo, okay? And he's been around for over 50 years. There's actually been, I think, 6 different Ralphies because, I guess they retire them and move on. The fun part about Ralphie is watching the handlers try to handle Ralphie when they bring him out in the field because they just can't let him run completely loose there. So it's kind of fun sometimes when Ralphie kind of gets the best of the handlers there. Very popular in the, I think, west of the Mississippi is Ralphie. I don't think he gets enough attention because of where he's playing at University of Colorado. We just don't see a lot of him in the East, but I think he's just one of the great live mascots. I love watching him. So Ralphie from the University of Colorado.
Well, could you put that picture back up real quick of Ralphie? That guy in the center, I don't know if he made it out of that pick. I mean, he looks like
that's what's funny about watching it. Is there's always a guy who's getting dragged or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like he got kicked in the nuts.
He looks like he's going down.
The handlers make that really one of the funny mascot things to see.
What do they do? Run around the field holding him in place?
Yeah, they literally do. They have him
trying to maintain a buffalo.
No, don't they? They usually have a couple. I think they show it there. They have a couple of leashes on him.
Yeah.
And they're the guys hold him in all different ways to try and. It's a buffalo. It's a freaking buffalo.
How this hasn't become a tragedy by now or some epic fail by now? I'm shocked. How has there not been a tackling or a dragging at this point?
Yeah, it's amazing. I haven't.
There are a few. I think
there
are a few incidents.
No, who is it? Who's the team, Coop, that rides with the horses on the almost
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma
had that one was one that ended kind of bad.
What happened with Oklahoma?
They ride on this I don't know, a cart?
Chuck wagon, a chuck wagon.
Bag, and sometimes the horses get going, the thing turns over, everybody goes.
You know what I'm amazed sometimes in life and stuff like this. It's like, how did not somebody look at this right away and say, this is not a good idea?
They've been running this since 1966.
I know, but like, how can someone not just say this is just waiting to go bad? What, you got some footage, Paul? I see your eyes going left and right.
I'm trying to find something. There were incidents. They had to retire one of the Ralphies.
Yeah,
it was a girl. She was too fast and she was getting away from the handlers, I guess. But there's no like actual buffalo? Footage of it. The buffalo, yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's just
she was too crazy.
That just seems like it's a tragedy waiting to happen.
Well, so there we are.
All right. Be interesting to see who you guys think. I mean, it's like one of those things. Really, you can't be right or wrong, really. But
yeah, it's a totally subjective list, which what makes it fun.
That's a fun one.
Are you a sports fan, Willie?
I am. I like college football the most, probably, out of all. But basketball, football. Don't do hockey. And then I'll do baseball during World Series time.
I was waiting for Willie to say, "Yeah, I love cricket."
Yeah.
With all his answers today, I was waiting for like cricket or something.
He has eclectic taste.
Here's one Oklahoma incident.
Oh wow!
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Didn't end well.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oof.
So
that's a liability for sure.
Willie, I'm just going to go on a limb here and say that you were a basketball player growing up.
Basketball, football. Yeah, I played both sports in high school.
Football, tight end?
Tight end. Well, I went to a small school, so pretty much everybody played both ways. So I played tight end, defensive end. Our quarterback was a linebacker. I mean, really small school.
Wow. Were you towering as a young athlete? Were you towering everybody?
Dude, I was 6'5" since 9th grade, man.
Yeah, see, me too.
Wow.
I grew as tall as I was going to get by 8th grade. In 8th grade, I was 6 feet, 220 pounds. So the vertical stopped. The width just kept going as the years go by.
See, not for me, man. I could never gain weight, man. I mean, I graduated weighing 185 pounds, man. What?
Come spend a month with me. I'll teach you. I have a master class in weight gain.
Dude, that's always been my mission, man. It's even today. It's if I don't eat well 1 week, I'll drop 5 pounds just like that.
Oof.
Without even trying.
Lucky.
Yeah, that's it's always an issue with the wife here.
Oh man.
I didn't realize you guys had a conversation. So, as always, coming toward the end of the show, we like to end most of our shows with a very new segment. I got a couple questions. Willie, you're the star of this segment once again. This is a new segment by Gurkha Cigars called Would You Rather? Once again, thank you to our dear friend Juan Lopez for being our model for our intro there. For Would You Rather. He
loved it.
He does a great job at it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to basically ask you 3 questions, Willie, and they're basically Would You Rather questions, and you can answer them. And if you're watching us, feel free to put in the comments on how you would, which option you would rather. So here we go with question number 1, Willie. Would you rather lose your ability to read or lose your ability to speak?
Speak.
Yeah, I think that's the one I went with. Oh, you'd rather lose your ability to speak? Yeah, I think that's the one I went with.
Yeah, I'm not a big talker anyway.
Well, there's a lot of other ways you can communicate, but if you can't read, that's got to suck. Then again, I know some people don't even have that ability yet, so it makes the decision for them a lot easier.
Right?
Yeah. I think you could get by without reading, though. Can you? It's got to be harder to get by without speaking.
How can you get by without reading?
There's plenty of people in the world that are illiterate. They seem to do just fine.
Yeah, they do really well in life. Let me tell you.
Yeah, name me and you tell me who's fine illiterate.
I'll make
if
a
I had to
list.
pick for you, Paul, would definitely be speaking.
I'm sure you would pick that for me. Yeah.
All right, Willie. Question number 2. Would you rather always be stuck in traffic but find the perfect parking spot, or never hit traffic ever but always take forever to find a parking spot?
Would you rather be always stuck in traffic?
Yeah, it kind of sounds like they both suck.
They do. Just one sucks more than the other.
Well, and Willie's in Miami, so he's usually stuck in traffic anyway. Right
30
now.
30 minutes to go 5 miles in Miami.
Yeah, that's the norm here, man. Dude, I think I'd go never hit traffic, but always take forever to park.
I agree with you, because no matter what, especially if you're in Miami, you're going to have that problem both ways anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
at least guaranteeing giving up one, I think, kind of works out.
I'd rather not have the headache getting to the place. So at least I'm not getting to a place pissed off already from being, sitting in traffic,
I've been very good at finding illegal parking spots just to leave a car at. And
I've seen it many times.
That's all great until your car gets towed away.
Here's an interesting one. I kind of want to see all our answers to this one. This is a good one. Ready? Would you rather detect every lie you hear or get away with every lie you tell?
My question to this is, does that mean that you could, if you pick the first one, if you can to detect every lie,
That means no one could ever lie to you. That means no one could ever lie.
And that means that I could never lie. Like I lose the ability to lie completely if I pick that.
Huh?
No. Where do you get that?
Okay.
It's
Well, I'm
either
just
that-
asking.
Listen, it's either that you can detect who's lying to you, which doesn't mean you know what the truth is, you just know it's a lie, or you get away with every lie you ever tell.
Okay.
I think I would go with detect every lie you hear.
I'm in that camp too.
Me too. Me too.
What about you, Coop?
What about you, Coop?
I don't lie, so I'd rather do the first.
That's my rationale. I
Yeah.
pretty much avoid trying to lie at all costs. I mean, you'll lie. Everybody lies. You lie for kindness or politeness or whatever. But yeah,
It will catch up with you, is what I tell people.
Yeah, you always get caught. You
You
always get caught.
But I like being able to look. I could tell when someone's lying, and I love to expose that part. So I kind of dig that part. So I'd rather do the obviously detect every lie.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I might go the other way.
Really?
Not so much to get away with the lies, but I don't know. I'm a little too hot-headed and confrontational. and sometimes maybe you need to get away with that lie. And
Alex can't handle the truth all the time.
yeah, man, I'm going to wind up STS. Everybody be STS at that point.
Coop, I try to have that. Alex, you're not there yet. Maybe, hopefully, when in a couple of years, you'll probably go through. But I go through that with my kids all the time. I said, just don't get away with it. Why lie?
Yeah, yeah.
Especially, listen, my oldest daughter, God bless her, I told her, you are in the Hall of Fame of the worst liars ever. Lying doesn't even make logical sense. You just need to stop because it's humiliating how bad of a liar you are. I'd have more respect for you if you could throw me up a good lie and almost get it by me than the lies you tell us sometimes. Just give it up. Certain things you should just never try. My oldest daughter needs to give up lying. She's awful.
Yeah, Marissa's the same way. So she don't even try because she can't, the smallest thing she can't do it.
Very, 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 very bad liars. So I think it's a good trait to have for her, but the fact that she keeps attempting it. So now, like, I have to preempt my conversations with her when she's in trouble or she doesn't know. I say, so listen, let's just recall you suck at lying. So before you look down that road, I have to preempt you suck. Remember, you absolutely are awful. So just tell me what happened.
Oh, did we lose Abe? He hit a button and he lost himself. That's so funny. He clicked something on there. Oh man. Well, we'll see if he comes back. But Willie, we want to thank you again for coming on the show. I want to put up this event. Alex, you guys will be announcing. Here he is. We got him back. He got too excited.
I must have clicked the button on my keyboard. I'm like, did I just disconnect?
Wait, I just want to take a moment to rag on somebody because I see Vince, the anti-goat, made a comment about my literacy, and then proceeded to post this headache conundrum of a comment, which I can't even really understand.
I think that's he's worried some way that he won't get a Facebook ban. That's what all that is.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Either that or he's illiterate.
Just saying.
Or he's trying to be smart and typing away to see how literate people. It's Vince. What do you want?
Yes, she did get in. Vince asked. Yes, he must have.
Yes, she got accepted. We found out at 3:00 yesterday, and now we know Vince hasn't been watching the whole show.
So much for his super fan status.
Willie, thank you for joining us this Saturday. Looking forward to seeing you again on May 6th. Coop, once again, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
As always, next week, who do we got? Oh, yes, Juan Martinez, Cuenca de Nicaragua. We're going to have him on because I think Nicaragua is right around the corner there. So a lot of fun stuff coming up. We hope we entertained you all. You had a nice, fun Saturday morning. As always, the best way to start your Saturday is with KMA. Until next week, everybody, keep it lit.
All right, thank you.